gentlemen, it's Titoclock. So please welcome your host, James Deacon.
What's up, everybody? Hey, welcome to the show. It's Titoclock. It's Tito James here and the rest of the gang, all the way through till 6 p.m. tonight, or until we get rid of all these cool raffle prizes. So thanks for joining us wherever you might be joining us from. Actually, considering I just said that, why don't you pop in where you're joining us from? Wherever you're viewing us from, I'd like to know, just because I'm chismoso like that. No, not really. We just want to sort of get a geographical picture. We're not trying to find out exactly where you are. We're not like Mark Zuckerberg. We just want to know sort of, you're in UAE, maybe you're in Singapore, maybe you're in Australia, or some other place. Just give us an idea, and we can sort of find out what it looks like out there. We know we get viewers from all over the place. Let's welcome our few people. Are we actually live? We've got, yeah. Okay, we're there we go. We're just making sure that we're live on both platforms at the moment because there seems to be a bit of a bump in the it's still not moving. Here we go. Okay, we're live. We're live now on Facebook, and until Mayanne comes in, we're not officially live. See, we need to know, and that's our gauge. May and June should come in, and once they come in, then we know we're officially live. Hi, Mayanne. Thanks for joining us. Sorry about the false start there. For those of you who just joined us, I had a great intro, but you missed it. So you're just going to have to take my word for it. It was really good. But because we had a little bit of a technical tutoria or whatever you want to call it, it didn't get out there. Anyway, the long and short of it all is, yep, we're here all the way through 6 p.m. We got some great prizes, including this Oakley bag that we're going to be giving away at the end of the show. But it's not about that. It's about spending time together and just getting through the week, because it's the last day of the week. Next week's Holy Week. We're going to take that week off, just like most people are going to do. And so this is it. This is it for a couple of weeks that we're going to make it count. So you see, we got people here from Lagro. This is what I was talking about. Just need to sort of see where people are. Helps you get that little bit of a picture, and you see where people are coming from. So we got Lagro. We've got Paranaque. That's from Maria Teresa Ocasio. And anyway, drop it there, and we'll call it out in just a while. Okay, so big show. We may as well get it all happening now because we got to get as much as possible as done. We also can ask me anything. If there's a question you want to know about, why don't you get that prepared and pop that in? And I would love to answer that for you a little bit later on in the show. But in the meantime, how we normally get things started here is we find out what's been happening over the last week or what's the latest in headlines. And for that, we always need Chris. Chris, what you got for us there?
Hey, what's up, Tito James? Happy Friday, my fellow Titoclockers. Let's not keep you guys waiting. This is Chris, and here is your Titoclock news. Passengers going to the provinces for the Holy Week have started trooping to bus terminals and airports to avoid the expected influx of people in transportation hubs. Spokesperson Jason Salvador of Paranaque Integrated Terminal Exchange said, for the past 7 days, PITX have recorded an average of 90,000 passengers daily that may reach 100,000 daily during the Holy Week. In a separate report, the Interagency Council on Traffic, Philippine Drug Enforcement Agency, and Land Transportation Office conducted random drug tests on drivers and conductors at the terminal. Orientation were also held about Republic Act number 10586, or the Anti-Drunk and Drug Driving Act of 2013. Meanwhile, domestic flights at the Ninoy Aquino International Airport, or NAIA, already reached 80% of the pre-pandemic record, while the arrivals from other countries are now around 10,000 to 15,000. Manila International Airport Authority General Manager Ed Montreal said the airport is ready to manage the surge of passengers with strict security and passenger assistance desks in place for the Holy Week. A study said Friday people who are vaccinated and have had a booster shot against COVID-19 recover from the symptoms of Omicron variant more than 3 days earlier than those with the Delta variant. Study author Christina Meni of King's College London also found that people with Omicron are significantly less likely to lose their sense of smell. Researchers used a free smartphone app called Zoe, on which more than 63,000 vaccinated people in Britain aged 16 to 99 self reported their COVID symptoms between June 2021 and January 2022. Symptoms from Omicron lasted 4.4 days for those with two vaccine doses plus a booster, compared to 7.7 for Delta, a difference of 3.3 days. People who had two doses but no booster shots saw Omicron symptoms clear up in 8.3 days compared to 9.6 days for Delta, according to the study published in the Lancet Medical Journal. The study will be presented at the European Congress of Clinical Microbiology and Infectious Diseases in Lisbon later this month. The group of 7 industrialized nations slapped on Thursday fresh sanctions on Russia following the appalling atrocities by Russian armed forces against civilians in Ukraine. The G7 leaders agreed on the following: ban new investments in key sectors of the Russian economy, including the energy sector; widening bans of export of certain goods to Russia, as well as restriction on goods from Russia; tightening of screws on Russian banks and state-owned companies; target the defense sector to erode the capabilities of the Russian military to wage war; elevate campaign against the elites and their family members who support President Putin in his war effort; expedite plans to slash reliance on Russian fossil fuels; Russian coal will be phased out and eventually banned; and accelerate action to reduce dependency on Russian oil. Earlier Thursday, G7 foreign ministers had called on the UN General Assembly to suspend Russia from the Human Rights Council over the heinous acts and atrocities in Ukraine. Reigning World Boxing Organization or WBO bantamweight champion John Riel Cuadro Alas Casimero responded with his photos showing his ripped physique after Probellum posted photos of his opponent, Paul Butler of the United Kingdom, on Facebook earlier this week. Casimero posted in Facebook a photo flexing his toned physique, showing his preparedness to defend his title against Butler on April 22, 2022 at the Echo Arena in Liverpool, England. For months, Casimero has been training at the City Boxing Gym in San Diego, California, under the supervision of his new team, comprised of former world champion Manny Melchor and his brother Jason Casimero. The 33-year-old Casimero was supposed to defend his world title against Butler last December 11, 2021 in Dubai, United Arab Emirates. He withdrew from the fight at the last minute after suffering from viral gastritis. Casimero was ordered to face Butler in Liverpool after providing WBO with sufficient medical record. Probellum then announced the world title fight as the official promoter of it earlier this year. Those were the latest in headlines, and now it's time for some snacks. Let's go ahead and get some Kamote Corner.
It's a low carb snack, really, if you think about
Low
it. So
carb snack.
let's see what we can do with this. Chris,
It's supposed to
just
be
kind.
healthy.
Yeah, it's supposed to be, but it's normally raises my
But it's not.
not.
Let's just say
Maybe
not
low
healthy.
carb, low GI, but it's still high in stress. So there you
Mhm.
go. Go easy on me.
Let's try. Okay, the first one is called my favorite game, Bump Car.
Mm-hmm.
Oh
I saw
yeah,
this one.
look where you're going.
Oh, man, yeah. Look, what's up with this? I mean, like, obviously, the guy in the car shouldn't also, he has to give way. If this is a two-way road, which it looks like, right?
Mhm.
So the bicycle does have the right of way, but oh yeah,
But he was
I
also
got
not.
to go with the car being at fault here, only because cars shouldn't be turning into oncoming traffic unless it's safe. It does look avoidable, though. I don't know if it just looks avoidable.
Mhm.
The car should wait until, because sometimes, I mean, these tricycles are also overloaded as well with, so it's hard for them to breathe. Like, look at this guy. I don't know what he's carrying there in his tricycle, but it looks like he's carrying I
But
don't know.
he was also not looking kasi. So
Yeah, he's not looking. But, in a case like this, it's his right of way. Meaning, like,
True.
you're on the road, somebody's turning into oncoming traffic, has to make
Mhm.
sure that you give enough time and distance for them to make and execute that turn safely. So, if
For
you
sure.
say
Yeah.
that it's both their faults because the guy out there wasn't looking, if I was the
Mhm.
cop, I would put the ticket on the car, because it's the car's responsibility to make sure that when they make that turn in front of oncoming traffic, that it's safe.
Yeah.
So, Arrow, ooh, yeah, well, X is saying that he was looking behind.
Mhm.
They could both be at fault, but technically speaking, the car should have just waited until
More
that.
on the car.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, it's tricky, right? Because you can say
Yeah.
that the guy
Yeah.
was looking, but yun, you see,
Ayun.
he's looking behind. I get that, but boom, car should also have seen that too, because car's responsibility, not because it's a car, it could have been another tricycle. You
Mhm.
see what I mean? It's turning into oncoming traffic. Therefore, he has to
Yeah.
give way to whatever's coming through. And he
Right.
didn't give way, and he just thought, I'll make timpla. And then, of course, the tricycle
Yeah.
was. So that's a little complex, but if I was the judge here, I would give the car driver the responsibility. So there you
All
go.
right. Point
Bring
good.
the tricycle driver to the back room. Say, "Hoy, ka naman. Tumingin ka naman. Don't look behind naman." But yes, if it came down
Feeling
to
ko he
actually.
had a whiplash also or a big headache after this.
Now, I'm assuming also that this is a road where tricycles are allowed, because
Mhm.
sometimes, I don't know where this road is, and then sometimes people go on these are main roads where tricycles are not allowed. But just
Yeah.
from what I've seen, that's how I would do it. All
Yep.
right,
All right.
always better to give way, Anthony.
Give way, people. All
Yeah.
right. Up next, from one tricycle to another, this is what we call thug life. Dun, 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 dun,
Woo!
dun,
All
dun,
right,
dun,
woohoo!
dun, 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 dun.
Kamote talaga, wala kamote.
Ay, nako. Ayun na nga.
Where is it? It looks like this is yeah, S Lex. You gotta be
True.
freaking kidding me. Is that a
Right?
tricycle or motorcycle?
Uh,
Hindi lang bawal lang yung scooter or tricycle. No, that looks like a scooter. Hindi lang bawal yung scooter. It's also counterflow pa. Grabe.
yes.
Talaga. Ah,
I wonder where this guy came from. Okay. Cheers, Tito. All
the only
right.
thing you're saying at the moment are the palm prints in the comments. That's the only
Yeah.
thing.
And this early, they're already looking for a rocket. Wait lang,
Yeah.
guys. Malamang siya. Wait natin siya. Okay, you ready for the next one?
Oh, I'm not ready, but I know I'm
You
gonna
are
get
not. Here it is.
hit.
It's called That's Gotta Hurt. And
Boom!
I mean, I don't
Okay.
understand how this happens. He was looking straight. Was he super sabaw? What? How?
Either somebody just completely not, not looking,
Yeah.
or. But this is such a common accident too, as well. People from motorcycles who, that's why it's so dangerous to ride here, because you cannot even drop your guard for a second. Something like this.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're looking the way or not. Pero grabe naman. Come on.
Diba?
Yeah. Yeah. Come on.
Kuya. Ay.
Mm.
Anyway.
I'm pacing.
Pacing.
That pace.
A
Trying to last.
A few
How
more.
many more? Got to pace.
All right, two more. And I'm not sure if the other one, the next one is better. It's called Christmas is Nearing. Sa ganitong panahon in April. Ding,
Ay.
ding, ding.
Oh my God! This is why? Why do people do this? It is so distracting. It's really annoying. I think, yeah.
I haven't seen any car do this. So, what is happening?
Well, they're just. I think it's just in coincidence that both of them have these blinking lights that they change on purpose to just
Okay.
attract attention. That's all it is. It's just for KSP Nagpila. That's all. And my guess is they just both randomly have it, and it's in sync with the music. So it's just nakachamba lang yung guy with the video, right? But
Yeah.
I just don't understand why people do this. I really don't. It's that we have standardized lights for a reason,
I
right?
mean,
It's very
for the
standard because this is the language on the road. Here comes the lecture. See, I was trying to keep calm. Now push
okay
me into
lang.
that. All right. So
Go ahead, Tito.
in traffic, we have a language, and that language is universal. It's made up of signs and colors and lights and shapes and stuff like that. It means anywhere you go in the world, whether it's Africa, Antarctica, um,
Yeah.
Australia, America, it doesn't matter. You're going to have the same set of rules. The giveaway sign will be triangle, and it'll be red. Hexagon for the stop sign. Green means go. Red means stop. So
Yeah.
the same goes for your lights in your car. You have your red light for your brakes, you have your amber for your signal lights, and then you have your white for your reverse. The reason for that is so that it is universal. So when you
Yeah.
start messing around with it, it's
Yeah.
like you're sending mixed signals, and it's very, very dangerous. And at
Mhm.
best, it's annoying. So don't do it. Keep it standardized because it is actually there for a reason. And when you mess around with that, you're pretty much messing with. You can get into a lot of trouble with this.
I'm
Is there
wondering who invented this, though.
Okay, I'm showing my
Okay.
age.
Ay, naka. All right. Breathe in, breathe out. We're about to wrap this up, and it's called It's a Wrap. It's a wrap.
It's a
Very
wrap.
annoying.
I saw this one
Very
too.
annoying.
I've seen people who don't take the plastic off the side of their doors, the seats, and some of the things like sometimes in
That
their house
seems
sofa,
very common.
your
But
motorcycle.
yeah,
Mm, mm.
very new.
That's definitely one way to keep it shiny new, but it's also not a good idea. Not a good idea. But all right, I'm gonna go for that. It's a wrap. I'm gonna call it.
It's
Thanks
a
to
wrap.
Chris. Nice caption.
Nice caption indeed. And that was the last one. So we officially made it.
Woo!
Yes, time to relax, people. All right. Thank you, Tita
Thank
James.
God.
That's all we have. Enjoy the weekend, everyone. And advance congratulations to our raffle winners. Avoid kamote people, but always choose happiness with some Sugar Rush. Follow me on my social media and also Sugar Rush Entertainment PH for your party entertainment needs. Remember to stay safe, healthy, and hydrated. Enjoy the Holy Week, guys. This is Chris. See you. Bye.
Hi, Chris. That's Chris with the latest in headlines brought to you by Intercare. Intercare, of course, being specialists in non invasive treatment to help you with any of your back or joint problems. I go to them myself, and it's a really big help. So if you need any adjustment, go and check them out. Also, thank you to Chris. Chris is, of course, our voice for the news and the inbox, and she provides that little chirpiness, and she even makes bad news sound good. So if you like her voice, you want to hire her for a voiceover, or maybe you have a children's party, you might want to hook up. And this is just the way we like to do things over here. Keep it in the family, keep it in the community, give people opportunity so that we keep it all circulating around in small circles, because then that goes into bigger circles and eventually that ripple effect goes outside. That is our solution to getting the economy kick-started again. And the other one that we use for that same thing is what we call Free Plug Friday, which is a way of giving businesses an opportunity to plug their products for free, but you have to be a small business. We don't want to give this to businesses that can't afford it. We're looking for businesses that are just still struggling out or trying to pivot into something new, or just trying out something and they just could use a bit of a hand. So if there's something that you like with the Free Plug Friday, just make an effort to contact the people. We always put their Facebook and IG or any other contact details under every product. And it really does go a long way if you order from them, because it keeps them not only the economy going, it gets their morale boosted up. And that's the way we're all going to get back to normal, or even better than normal. So for that, we need XX. What you got in the box there, X?
Hi, DJ James. We actually have a lot in store once again, but before you go there, I just want to say hi to all Titoclockers. Welcome to another edition of Freeplug Friday. All right, face your X on the screen. Let's start Freeplug Friday with some sweetness from Amanda's Home Bakery. So, Tito James, Amanda's Home Bakery is a home-baked business that started since 2019 that offers cookies, espresso-infused brownies, pies, as well as other things. Though they confess that their best sellers are their chocolate chip walnut and dark peanut butter. The only thing to take note is that they need 2 days lead time for each order since they make sure to bake it fresh and hot, of course. So just look at these, CD James.
Ooh, look at that flaky. Look at that crispy looking top there.
Exactly. Just look at these cookies too,
Oh
right?
my gosh, I'm a sucker for chocolate chip cookies. I hope they're the chewy type. Are they?
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm
I
not
hope so.
sure, DJs, but guys, price varies depending on the kind, but hope you can still try them out. Again, Amanda's Home Bakery on Facebook and Instagram. Next, we go to the Good Dough by Maria. So the Good Dough by Maria started back in 2020 as a way to pivot during the pandemic. So get this, Tita James. Both owners, husband and wife, had zero experience with baking, and they just learned all these things to YouTube University. So all thanks to YouTube University, and now they offer a wide selection of desserts or pastries, such as cookies, crinkles, brazo cups, ube cheese pandesal, when you know that went viral during the lockdown, banana loaf, cupcakes, cheese rolls, and so much more. And these photos actually don't do justice to each. So hope you guys can also check them out. You gotta try them yourselves. The Good Dough by Maria on Facebook and Instagram. Next, we go to Takoyaki Street. So Tita James, Takoyaki Street is actually a restaurant business that's located in Karangalan, Pasig that was born during the pandemic. And they offer different kinds of takoyaki as well as chicken wings, fries, shawarma, nachos, even milky and iced coffee as well. Too bad we can try, but for those who have a takoyaki or chicken wing craving, you can check them out on Facebook, Instagram, or better yet, you can pay them a visit at their branch in Pasig. Again, Takoyaki Street. Next, we go to Puppy Lab. So Puppy Lab is actually a home-based business that's also started back in 2020 that offers goat milk for pets. Pets such as dogs, cats, hamsters, and bunnies. And this is known to help boost immunity, strengthen the fur and coat, enhance digestion, prevent illnesses, and it's high in essential vitamins. So that's something that Rocket and other pets really need to maintain their lifestyle. You know, Tita James. So Tita James, what can you say about?
Well, as long as it's not a pet goat that you're giving it to, I guess it'll be fine. But you know, it's yeah, no, sure. And look, we're so protective over our little pets now,
Yes.
and I think the pandemic's also brought out this new kind of pet parent, right?
Exactly.
Because I'm not imagining things.
Yes.
I think there are more pet owners now than there ever were
Yes.
plant owners, and then
Yes,
they became pet
exactly.
owners. So I support things like this that really put those pets and give them those things that they really need. And I'm glad people are coming up and offering these services and products for them.
Exactly. So guys that are still looking for distributors and resellers as well. For those of you who want to try it, the price is 200 pesos. Again, hoping you can check them out. Puppy Lab on Facebook, Instagram, and Shopee. Last but not least, we go to Kaka Coffee. So for those who are located in the South or plan to visit the South, particularly in San Pedro, Laguna, there's actually a quaint neighborhood cafe that's called Kaka Coffee. So Kaka Coffee opened back in October 2021 by two friends who saw cooking and eating as a way to distress because of the pandemic. So Kaka Coffee not only offers coffee, but all-day breakfast as well as pasta, sandwiches, and waffles. And the great thing about these guys is they source their coffee beans from local farmers, so they are helping the economy in many ways as well. Again, Kaka Coffee on Facebook, Instagram, or you can check them out in their location in San Pedro, Laguna. Well, that's all we have for this week's edition of Freeplug Fridays. Stay safe and always sanitize proper. This is X. Peace out. Enjoy your Holy Week. Bye. Woo!
Holy Weekend!
Woo! Rocket!
Woohoo! That was loud. Basag. All right, that was Plug Friday, and that's just our little way of supporting the local businesses. If there's something you like there, please just go back. You can always rewind it, get their IG or their Facebook, whatever, and order from them. And if you have anything that you want to, if you want to be part of Plug Friday, you can send us a message on IG. You see it there scrolling down below at Unitas if you want to be a part of it. But let's just keep this open only for the smaller businesses so that we help them out. And those who have budget, well, I'm sure you can get the reach that you're looking for in many other ways. So let's keep it for that. So that was our Free Plug Friday. Now we move over to our Ask Me Anything portion, brought to you by Motorized. Question we have here is, how old is Rocket? Well, it did say ask me anything. I did see that, right? There was a question there. I don't know if we're is it anything or is it anything car related? Okay, well, somebody said there, how old is Rocket? Yeah. So Rocket is 20. He's a 2018 model. Very low mileage because he's got very small feet, little short, little legs, don't get him very far. So, yep, low mileage considering. And there he goes, or Zabal, Ali Samuya. And yeah, that's it. Anyone else got a question here for myself? Oh, well, there's one here from Ryan that says, how to get you to promote our business, our bakery. Well, we did mention that, so you can just pop it through Big Canitis on Instagram. That's the account. You can send a message to. All right, here we go. Hi to the James. Were there EVs displayed in Nias? Yes, there were. Actually, I saw, yeah, a couple. One that got me was a Chang'an one. I think. I noticed there was a Chang'an Chinese brand there was in the center display just near the Peugeot, and that had an EV setup as well. So yeah, very interesting. Seeing how we're going to get into that, whether the Philippines is ready to embrace EVs completely. Time will only tell because it's a very tricky thing. You can't just bring in EVs without a program to support it or an incentives and stuff like that. Because of course this needs infrastructure, and of course we also need to be very careful about where we're drawing the power from. Just because you plug in the wall, if we're still burning coal and diesel for it, then that's still not helping the environment as well. So you got to always consider the full loop of what you're doing. And yeah, that's an interesting topic to discuss one day very soon. In fact, I'll have a guest. I can bring a guest on to that. It's a very, very good topic about how the future of alternative power and energy, clean energy. All right, what else we got there, X? What are your trip plans this Holy Week? I'm actually staying in this time because I figured, sometimes there's a certain charm about staying in Holy Week because it's quiet and I love the roads are empty and stuff like that. Plus, I have a whole lot to do as well, moving things around the studio and stuff like that. So I will probably be staying in for the whole Holy Week. I might take a drive though. I do enjoy sort of popping around and just doing random drives and stuff like that because there's no traffic. Katie Castro asks, are you hosting the Russ Swift show? Not this year, Katie. Sadly, I can't do it. There's a lot of commitments. But I did host that for almost, I guess, 10 years, something like that. And yeah, it was great to see Russ back. And I missed the show yesterday and, of course, today. But I'm sure it was just as good as it always is. The guy's got a real touch when he does his stunt driving stuff. So, hey, I would encourage anyone, if you want to go and watch Russ or check out the Nias 2022, some great concepts there, great booths. It's really nice to get back to normal with that because, as somebody said, it was like doing that virtual felt like having a long-distance relationship. It's not quite the same. You can do the video calls and stuff, but you really need to be there and touch and feel, and that's how it's built. And cars are relationships. So if you want to go this year, go down there. It's great. And I think they've done a wonderful job. So congratulations to the guys of ES. Anyone else before we wrap this up? Either earlier I saw a test on the road. Do we have regulations for electric cars? The Teslas are brought in privately. Regulations for cars, EVs, a little tricky. The LTO does have provision for them, but the people, in reality, some people are having trouble still registering it because, in some outlets, and this is only just the complaints I'm getting, is they still don't know what to do with the engine number situation because obviously it doesn't have an engine. So it's like they get lost there with that. But I do know that they do have EV policies because Nissan has brought in the lead as well, and Nissan are not going to do that if they don't already have existing current policies in place. So we're following the lead from the bigger companies like that, and eventually, we'll be able to see more and more manufacturers come in. I'm very excited for an electrified future. I think it really is the way of the future. But as I mentioned before, it is a little bit more complicated and not as straightforward as we'd like to think it is. It's not as simple as plugging into the wall and then just saying, okay, we're now clean. Because also, aside from what I mentioned about the coal-fired and the diesel-powered as well, electricity that we generate, we also have very expensive electricity over here. So it may be a false economy in a way to be getting an EV car, but paying more for your electricity than you would for your gas. So this is still a lot to be worked out. But on a whole, I'm very bullish or very supportive of the EV program. I really think it's the way of the future. So I just want to see all these programs get in place and policies be made sensibly and with the right incentives to be able to get them going the right way. So there you go. So we can squeeze in one more if there happens to be one there. Would be great to answer as many as possible. What is the best Motorized battery for Ford Ranger? Off the top of my head, Billy, I'm not 100% sure of the model that you're looking for, but this is the great thing about the Motorized app. If you go to the Motorized app and you just tell them the car, they'll tell you exactly straight away. It's so simple. What is the compatible battery for your car? And you don't really need to go, over or under that. Just go with what they recommend, because it's really, they've been doing this forever, right? They've been doing it they know what they're doing. When they come over there, they'll install it for you, and you have no hassle at all. Plus, you get a warranty with it as well. And one thing I keep hearing about the Motorized warranty, and correct me if I'm wrong, because everyone that I've spoken to so far, they all say it's very, very seamless. If the battery if anything goes wrong, there's no questions asked. They have it all. The receipts are all, integrated and stuff. They just swap it over. There's no drama. And that's what I love. It's having a hassle-free service like that. So go and check them out. Do you think lockdown is possible again after the national election? All right. I saw an article that bothered me a lot. I think it's yesterday or the day before. It really triggered me, and I'm trying to not get triggered in this portion of my life anymore. But it did trigger me because it was, I think, an Inquirer headline, and it said WHO are warning people of an upcoming surge in 2 months' time. Like, seriously, what's that about? Why are you warning us about a surge that hasn't happened yet, right? So you're just guessing, and you're making us worry for nothing. What are we going to do? What do you want us to do? So in my mind, there we go. Worried WHO sounds warning. I want to see what that COVID cases surge globally. All right. The one that I saw that was the Inquirer was a bit more triggering, the way they put it. It was basically, it made it feel like they were just conditioning us again to be afraid again so that they could do something silly and declare lockdown. So if you're asking my personal opinion, I don't think there's any reason to. I'm not an epidemiologist or a doctor, but I'm just looking around pragmatically at the rest of the world, and they seem to be doing fine, right? Most of them have just given up on this thing and said, you know what, let's just deal with it like a normal virus. UK, all of these other countries, no more masks, no more nothing. They're just dealing with it like grown-ups, because problems do happen, viruses do exist. You don't stop the world from spinning anymore just because you want to get it under control, because there's always going to be another cost. So I think that this can be used as leverage or as some kind of a weapon, and I do get kind of worried about how the politicians might be able to weaponize it against us if they want to bring us all back under control. That's my fear, but that's a personal thing. I have nothing else to base it on except my personal opinion that you asked for, so I'm giving you that. This is the one that bothers me. Who warns of new COVID surge in 2 months? Urges PH to prepare. How are you preparing? What are you preparing for? Are you staying home already? Is that what you're asking to be prepared for? It's it's got the vibes that you're really conditioning us, and that really bugs me a lot. It's prepare for a COVID, warns of new COVID surge in 2 months. You couldn't even tell us before about what was happening while it was happening. You couldn't get it right. Okay, the CDC, the WHO, all of these institutions, they failed us. I mean, I know, I'm sorry if you know somebody there and that offends you. It's globally, they have dropped the ball so many times with false information, misleading information, inaccurate information, doubling down, going backwards. You know what? It's just been one big giant mess. So we now we have a trust crisis, I call it. It's not necessarily a health crisis, it's a trust crisis. because so many people have exploited this pandemic for either for financial gain or personal gain, and people are really sick and tired of it. So now it's like the boy who cried wolf. Even if there is something genuine behind it, most people now are like, you know what? Let me just handle it myself, because we just don't trust you and your motives and your agenda anymore. Woo! Let's go back to cars. What are your thoughts on Jeeps, road, or museum? Museum, definitely museum. You know what? If I had my choice and I could wave a magic wand, or I could just, crack a whip, I would keep jeepneys alive in places like Intramuros and other historical places where you can keep them as tourism and keep our culture intact. I think they're great. They're a Philippine icon, but you don't want these to be. They can be an icon as some kind of not as a main form of transportation and mass transportation. It doesn't look good for us. It's part of our history, something we're proud of because we made do. But it's 2022. These Jeeps were built in 1940s, right? This is from the war. So it was in Philippine ingenuity back then. And that's what we celebrated when we said, look at how the Filipino converted the World War II Jeeps into this passenger jeepney. And it was very cute. The story came alive and people now know us for that and all that. But it's no longer 1940s or 50s or 60s. It's 2022. We got to get with the program. We got to move forward with the rest of the world and put this in a museum or just create some kind of a tourism around it so that it keeps it alive for us. In the same way that, kangaroos seem to be the national animal of Australia. And great, that's wonderful, but they don't let them run around the city anymore, right? They just don't. So they keep them there they keep them outside, they put them in zoos, etc. But you can't just keep them running around and saying, oh, they're an Australian icon. No, there's a place for things as we evolve. Whew. Here we go. Next. Did you say goodbye to Max? Yes and no, or Zabal, because I call her she, because I don't know why, but Max is now being consigned to a dealer called All Cars Manila. So I did say goodbye, but if I get really cold feet, I can pull her back and just say, no, I changed my mind. But I'm trying not to. I really do have to let go because it's just my situation has changed. I mean, I lived in Max for so long because when I say lived in it, when I was doing a lot of shoots out and about, Max was my dressing room. Max was my rest house. Max was my office. Max did everything, and Max did so well. We called it Max because we have a naming competition, and somebody said Max because it's maximum height, maximum this. It's maxed out, right? Plus, it got maxed out with the Altoy complete conversion as well. But yeah, I gotta say goodbye because at some point, we all move on and our situations change. Max is a very hard car to drive if you don't have a driver. Not necessarily because it's hard to maneuver. I can maneuver it. It's parking because of that roof. That roof is very hard to get through a lot of car parks. I had it also sprayed with what you call Linex, which is military grade coating, which is what the Pentagon used as well to make it bomb proof. When I say bomb proof, it's not that a bomb won't get through, but when they spray their walls with it, if a bomb does hit, the debris won't fly because the Linex can hold it in place. So there you go. I hope that answers the question. In a way, I'm kind of hoping Max doesn't get sold, but I know I have to face that at some point and in time. It's also got an upgraded 11-inch, I think, 10.9-inch iPad type of display, fully integrated. Looks great. That was done by Growl Audio. That was really nice. One of the nicer features in the car. So that's it. That should answer the question. Somebody said best MPV 2022. Michael, not really sure, man, because what would be in the running for that? MPVs. So many now. I mean, like you see all these Chinese brands that are getting really good as well. I'll have to get back to you on that because I want to do one more run around Mias before I answer that question. So I know it might be a while before I get there, but I want to do one more loop because I also want to choose and see which car might work best for me. Because I'm also choosing what I want, right? I'm also choosing a car to replace Max, and I'm shortlisting it now. After posting that, I'm shortlisting it to compact SUVs and crossovers. I like the kind of versatility that they provide. Not quite a sedan, not quite an SUV, something in between. I still have my Trailblazer, so I still have a full-size SUV, which I adore. That's still all decked out with all the stuff from Gears and Banawe, which have these like big springs on it, lift kits, big tires, bull bar, the whole bit. I love my Trailblazer so much, and hopefully I don't have to live to see the day where I have to let that one go as well. But one step at a time, one step at a time. So there you go. Tito James, what's the number coding hours currently implemented? It depends, right? Is it 6 7 to 7, 6 to 8? 5 to 8. 5 to 8 p.m. And what about the morning? It's so tricky because each city has their own thing. And here's the irony. It's called the Unified Vehicle Volume Reduction Program, right? That's what coding is actually called, UVVRP or something like that, right? But there's nothing unified about it. Makati has their own, Pasig has their own, everybody has their own, right? Here we go. We'll have coding from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. I don't get it either. Yeah, I don't. And then it's very confusing. You can't just keep doing this to traffic laws. I mean, they think that just because they announce it, everyone's going to know. You know how many millions of cars we have now and driving around Metro Manila, and you're just going to just keep changing these things. Of course, people are getting caught out. But here you go. This is what happens when you don't have concrete solutions to real problems, and you just keep changing it to try to adjust to them. It's what you're reacting and you're not responding to the problem. You're always and that's the worst way to do it, because you're just always going to be chasing your tail. You got to fix the problem at the source. And the problem at the source is proper mass rapid transportation. That's the solution. Then you have to go into decentralization. The last option you should have is coding, because coding is a very temporary problem that causes bigger problems later on. Because eventually, when people buy their way out of that problem, which human nature, we've seen, we already have the track record shown, people do buy their way out of the problem by getting a second and third and fourth car, depending on how rich they are. And all they're doing is adding unnecessary cars on the road, which leads to bigger problems. Very, very poorly thought out system. I can't understand why we're still doing it. But the thing is, the problem with those types of things, when you introduce these types of programs like coding, is you cannot go back. That's the paradox there. Once you start and you say, okay, we're going to do coding for a while because we're just going to we want to solve this problem. Coding will help if you're doing, let's say, construction, and only for, let's say, 1 month we're going to limit the vehicles on this bridge because we're constructing it, right? So then you can do a volume reduction program with the intent to go back. But if you do it permanently as a solution, people will eat up that gap that you created, or eat up that margin that you've now built. They'll eat it up by buying new cars. So you can never go back. Because if you go back, the problem becomes bigger. This is why I don't support it at all. Next, Brian says it's really confusing. I agree with you too, Ryan. All right. About the new Avanza, what can you say about it? Very classy looking for an Avanza. I think they've upped the class level. It's a bit wider as well, yeah, I think it's officially a bit wider, but it definitely looks wider. It has a much better presence, definitely a lot better interior. So it's improved in every single way. That is also another great little Philippine workhorse, because that's a great business vehicle as well. And being a Toyota, it's so reliable. I think it's great. I mean, not for me necessarily, because I think it's a little too small for me, a little too bare for me. But I think it's a great workhorse for our roads. It's designed for Philippine consumption and Philippine roads. So there you go. That's when we launched that one back in. Well, not we. When Toyota launched it, we were there. See, look at the look of it. It's very, very classy. See that front? It doesn't look anymore like the left out one in the family, like it was like the afterthought. No, it's got the same Toyota DNA now. It's got that same Toyota corporate family face that they've integrated, that you see in the bigger models as well. And that's what makes it look really, really a lot better than it ever has. So check it out. I give it a thumbs up. Have you thought of running for public office? No. Well, I've thought of it, but I slammed it down straight away because I don't like the idea of. I don't think it's in my personality. This is now a personal thing. Um, I don't feel that I'm also as effective in public office or more effective than we can be as a community here online. That's what I'm comparing to. It's if that was the only way to get things done, then maybe I would consider running. But because we have this community, which is actually very powerful, because when we put our voices together and we go and we show that united front, we've done some amazing things on this show and on this stage together as a community. We've had laws passed. We've influenced new rules. We've changed rules that weren't great. So that's where I feel that we are at our best. We're very useful like this because we also keep the people in politics in check because we shine a light on them as well. If they're doing anything silly as well. So you need people on this side of media and you need good people in politics. My problem with politics is my brain doesn't operate in that way. Politics is very divisive, for one. I like unity. I think we get more done if we show a united front. And that's why I never show any political colors, because I think that it's, one, I don't really support anyone in particular. So it's no big deal for me to be neutral. And also, I want to bring people in and let's confront issues, not colors and politics and people, issues. So it doesn't matter if, but the problem is if I show my color and I say, let's say I'm a Duterte supporter or a yellow supporter, people automatically brand you and you divide your audience. So people could agree with you in what you're saying, but because they know that you're yellow or red or blue or whatever color you go by, they'll just immediately discredit you. And that's what I don't like about politics. Another thing I don't like about politics is my brain works in a way where the solution is the straightest line between two, or the shortest distance between two lines is, what am I saying? The shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line. That's how my brain works. If I see this and I see the solution, I go straight. With politics, it's anything but. You go the long way around all the time. So if I'm going to fix this road, it doesn't become about this road. It becomes about how it impacts me, how it impacts my competitor, how it impacts this guy, how it impacts that. Everything but the road, right? It becomes about all the balance of power, and it just does that. My brain doesn't work that way. So if I see a solution, I want to go straight for it. In politics, they're like, wait, that might affect this, and I have a bill that's pending that if this congressman gets upset because I did that and it impacted his business. You see how it's all related? This is why I despise politics. I really can't stand it. And I'd rather stay on this side. Very long answer to your very short question, but I hope you did get something out of that at the end. Okay, thanks, Marcos. Senator James Deacon, wag naman sana. Thank you, though, for the vote of confidence, but I'd rather sit right here. The Geely Okabanko. Yes, I tried it. I am very, very impressed with not just the Okabanko, but all the Geelys, actually. Were very impressive. Design, I like a lot. I think they got a nice edge on design. Features, they're very, very well packed. Very good features in those cars. I yet to experience, of course, the after sales or the ownership experience. I haven't spoken to enough people about their ownership experiences. And this is something that's very important when you're buying a car. You're not just looking at the actual hardware. There is the relationship that you need to have with your casa, the relationship with the brand. It's like when you say marry the girl, you marry the family. Same thing with cars. You need to know that brand is very supportive. And I'm not saying that Geely's not. It's just I don't have enough experience yet with them to be able to say that confidently. Whereas I could say that about, let's say, MG, because I've been using them for a while, not necessarily through MG, but through the network under the Covenant Car Company. I use that as an example because MG is also, it's a British brand, but the cars are made out of China. So Shanghai, that's the group that make the cars. So they're technically in that capacity Chinese vehicles, but the ownership experience and the brand experience is very, very good. It's British, it's local, the way that they service it, the way they stock parts, the way they take care of people. So those are things I place a lot of weight on. And Geely, Well, that's the only box that I need to tick and find out. And I'm not saying that they don't do it, it's just I don't have any experience with it. So there, hope that answers that. After sales really matter, of course. You know what? It's end of the day, once that new car smell subsides, which it always does, it's like true love. In the beginning, you're all euphoric and all that, and after a while, it starts to settle down and you start to find your place. Then you're going to look for the important things, and that's going to be the substance. And in cars, it's the after sales and the ownership experience. If you own a great car that's causing you, no matter what features it has, if it's causing you headaches, and it takes, let's say, it costs you $20,000 to change the oil, or they don't have parts for it, or just the brand experience is lacking, it will sour the whole experience. So there, I place a lot of importance on that, and so should you. What do you think, X? Should we head straight to the raffle, or do we have time for one last? One last. Okay, here we go. Peter James, any recommendations for vehicle restoration but cheap shop? Yes, I do actually, and this is a very timely question. You know why? My favorite detailer is Aegis Detailing in Alabang. Aegis Detailing have opened one branch in Erod as well, and they have been my detailers for the last 3, 4, 5 years now. 3, 4, something like that. These guys are really, really, really good, right? Really good at detailing. And here's what really impressed me is yesterday I was there in the auto show and I saw Aegis, and they told me that they now do restoration, and they're partnered up with Alex's Restoration, which is a household name as far as in the car industry. And they're doing restoration. So go and check them out. That's who I'd recommend right now, because combined with Alex Restoration, I'm sure these guys are going to do an exceptional job. Okay, that's it, X. I think we are ready for everybody's favorite time. Let's not fool anybody. We see all the paws in there. What is it called? It is raffle time. There, everyone wants to see your face. Okay. Here he goes. You ready there, X? Rocket, you need to draw this because, there we go, slip that up a little bit. Does everyone like my phone? I love my phone over there. Look at that. Look at that phone. See it? That's a real landline in the Tito days. I love that phone. Anyway, I just wanted to point out the starting back there. So, here we go. Rocket went out today and he posed for this Oakley bag. And now that everyone's out and about, people are moving around again, these Oakley bags are just a must. I mean, I have one all the time. I love the quality. I love the brand. And I want somebody here to have one because, you know, it's just that's how we spread the love around. And Rocket here is going to be drawing one out with one lucky winner. And if he does it correctly, he'll get fed some of his anchovy snacks. Yeah, I gotta show at least look at. All right, if you do win, I do want you to send a message to Rocket because that is the fastest way to claim your prize because it doesn't get overly trafficked. It's just I just wanted to do a random. This is a very random shout out because these guys, these were Free Plug Fridays, and a while ago we're still using them because this is the only snack Rocket likes. We had some other snacks a few times and we wouldn't eat them. It was very embarrassing. So here we go. We have something fun. These are natural dog food. Who makes them? Little Lion. They're on Facebook and yeah. So Little Lion treats. Yeah, check them out. Yeah, that was a treat. You ready there, Rocket? Ready? Aim. Fire! gonna win it. Go to quarantine! Woo! Woo! Congratulations, man. Congratulations. If you did win, just take a screenshot, just show it, and send us a message. Silent naman from the account that you joined in, because that's how we'll know if it's really you. And our software is pretty good. It's pretty advanced. We can use that software to check out the the winner. So we can actually just click on your name and see if it really was the account. So if somebody opens up a fake account just to claim their prize, it won't count because it's already logged into the system. So it's pretty clear, pretty advanced, and I hope that pretty much wraps up the day. And I hope you got something out of it. If you were our winner, congratulations. If not, we do have, not next week because it's Holy Week, but the week after that, where we're going to be giving some more prizes away, and we'll do this all over again. All we need from you is to be kind to one another and always wash your hands. Even there's no threat out there anymore of COVID, it's always a good habit to get into. So till then, guys, stay kind, stay safe. We'll see you next week.
Fancy meeting you in my internet. Couldn't help but notice your smile, while everybody else around us is surfing about. Can we just stop and chat a while? Get away from these gray and boring, lonesome days of our quarantine. Early yet to say what lies ahead. It's just the first day of the rest of our lives. Love could be waiting at the end of this quarantine. Let's stop and talk a while. Let's stop